Nerdy for 30. Man, it's me, your boy C, the host. Most of the things right here on Paprika, man. We're nerdying and we're 30ing, man. We're talking about the 30 Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, man. The 30 junks that comprise the theatrical MCU experience. And we ranked them. We were audacious enough to try to figure out the definitive Paprika rankings for the MCU movies, and this is what you have laid before you. Myself and 29 other Paprikans. At last, we have hit number 10, the beginning of the top 10. Guardians of the Galaxy. Let's check out this tagline. All heroes start somewhere. I like that. I'm going to give that a solid B tagline. Light years from Earth. 26 years after being abducted, Peter Quill finds himself the prime target of a manhunt after discovering an orb wanted by Ronan the Accuser. This was a game changer. Like, this is when the MCU went from, like, pretty warm. Like, the Avengers was good. Like, the stew was getting there. And then you get Thor 2 and Iron Man 3, and the stew goes, it kind of loses its flavor for a little bit. But then you get Winter Soldier, and you're like, ooh, this shit's simmering now. And then you get Guardians of the Galaxy, and you're like, oh, okay, this stew is bubbling nicely at this point. This is when they really started to hit their stride, I think. And this cast, man, I mean, he's definitely not the hot thing anymore, Chris Pratt, but he's a great Star-Lord. He's a good amalgamation of all those like 80s action heroes. Tough guy, macho, but he's actually willing to show he has a softer side. He's a little bit of Indiana Jones. He's a little bit of Han Solo, man. Gamora, Zoe Saldana, part of 2 franchises between this and Star Trek over there. She's a great Gamora. You got Batista, a great Drax. Bradley Cooper voicing Rocket Raccoon, great. Vin Diesel putting in the work as Groot, great. It is your team of misfits, and I love a good team of misfits having to come together. James Gunn obviously loves a team of misfits. He did it for Marvel, did it for DC with the Suicide Squad. I'm not a big fan of Interstellar comic book stories. I'd like my superheroes to be grounded. Give me the story of what's happening, like what's fucking up New York today. Those are the kind of MCU movies or comic book superhero stories that I like. So I was a little bit reticent going into this, knowing I don't like the interstellar side of superhero comics. And I was delightfully surprised by this. I have said many a times that had Disney not started pumping out more Star Wars movies, Guardians of the Galaxy would be this generation's Star Wars. And I still kind of believe that, man, because what we got from the sequel trilogy dissatisfied a whole lot of people. So, this movie is just one of the great perfect ensemble movies. Between this and Baby Driver, a couple years down the road, this became like the what's the word I'm looking for? The pinnacle of needle drops in movies, man. Music is just as much a character as any of the characters in this movie, man. Unfortunately, this suffers from the weak villain syndrome with Ronan. We do get a little bit of Thanos showing up for the first time, really delivers some dialogue. Nebula in there as well. One of my favorite characters in the MCU. Nebula is my favorite Guardian, just because of what she's been through and just her fucking rage that she carries inside of her. I love Nebula, and I love how Karen Gillan plays the character, man. So yeah, Guardians was just one of those. It wasn't like an event. Like Black Panther was an event, but man, people loved them some Guardians when it first came out. And I was one of those people. And that's it for this Nerdy for 30, man. We'll be back tomorrow as we keep this bad boy on a rolling right here on Paprika.